We really do need to relate around food the way we used to, which is we used to feed each other. We didn't just go to the grocery store. And I'm not saying get rid of grocery stores. I'm just saying that establishing relationships about food and legislation staying out of that so that those are free to operate. Let personal responsibility and relationships take care of that. We can trust that part. It's part of our social fabric. It's how we celebrate birthdays and weddings and anniversaries and special occasions. It's how we comfort each other. It's with food. My name is Sherry Chen, and I actually am a pediatric occupational therapist. That is my job. That's what pays the mortgage. Things really started for us. My husband and I, we just were doing research. We just started learning because we had that bent. We learned about raw milk. We learned about chicken processing. In both instances, we went, okay, we want to drink raw milk. We don't want to drink pasteurized milk. When we read about chickens, we went, never eating chicken out of the grocery store again, and we haven't, except for where we've gone, places where we've been served. And in both instances, we went, well, we can do this. I got involved with the Springfield Farmers Market because it had died, but my husband and I went ahead and stepped up and started producing meat chicken, and it was really in that experience that we learned a lot about producing food for other people, the regulations, the energy, the expense, everything that was involved in producing food for people. When we started the market, I was actually the liaison between the health department and the market. There was just kind of this gut feeling that the market was kind of new starting back up. And you could just kind of get this feel when you talked to them. It was just kind of this fear. They were hanging on pretty tight, and not being real super flexible. And I think that's understandable, except it leaves the people who are selling with this feeling of, it feels like you guys think that we're out here to poison everyone. I have yet to hear that that's happened at a local food level. And yet you folks are coming at us as though we are as guilty as all of them. And that is one of the problems, is the problem of scale. What was happening is that the folks who were implementing the legislation were not differentiating between any of that. And they have the right to be there with mass production. They have the right to be there if I, as a small producer, are selling to someone anonymous to me. They don't have the right to be there. In the small places, the small informal social systems where we feed each other and where we take care of each other. And no distinction has yet to be made with regard to that. And it's people feeding people. We're back down to that person-to-person level. The distance from farm to fork being very short. Personal responsibility plays a huge part in all that. Personal relationships play so much in that. And that takes care of some of that problem that you have at the larger scale, where there's total anonymity. And so if we want people to be entrepreneurial and we want them to be, allow them the opportunity to do startup kinds of things, you've got to keep those requirements for stepping in the door less. And if there had been a lot of food poisoning going on, I would have understood. I've yet to this day to hear of that. And what it does is that it puts a whole bunch of extra work, expense, and energy in front of people who are stretched so thin already. We were working our jobs during the week, staying up till 2 or 3 at night on Friday night to get all the market stuff ready, doing market on Saturday, which meant getting up very early, and then collapsing on Sunday and going back to work on Monday. So I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm just saying we just need more attention paid to how we're using these regulations and who they apply to and whether implementing them putting up a roadblock for other things that really need to be left alone.